Hey guys, what's up? Somebody give me a 5 for 5 and we'll get going. I'm going to try to keep this one short. Guys, hey Kenley, how you doing? Good to see everybody. Again, guys, I'm going to try to keep this as short as possible, but there is some stuff going on the sun I really want to bring to you. Okay, hey Pamela, thank you. I'm probably not going to be able to look at the chat a whole lot, guys, but I do want to give you guys this update because it's actually pretty cool stuff here. We're not talking about grid down stuff or anything like that, but there is some stuff going on. And, if you guys looked at the thumbnail, you will definitely understand what I'm talking about there. It came in at like I think it was a C8 or C8 class flare, but it was being partially hidden from the sun. It was on the limb. And I'm telling you, this thing, the plasma that flew off the sun was moving fast. It just is what it is, right? I don't know why I haven't did that yet. Hold on a minute. Hold on 1 second here. Okay. Yeah. I don't know why you weren't a mod, Flamin'. I don't know what's going on with that. Good to see you, man. I just added you as a mod, I think. Pretty sure. Let's try it again. How about that? There you go. There you go. Alright, you got a blue wrench. I may have given somebody else a blue wrench there. Not sure. Anyway, so we're going to keep moving. Well, if you got an extra blue wrench, well, you guys can keep it. I trust you guys. You guys are cool and everything. So anyway, I am going to put my chat away here because I do want to get through this. I am not feeling good whatsoever. And guys, I've been going through some stuff here, and not really sure how much time I got left here on everything here. So we're just going to kind of keep moving, okay? Anyway, so what do we got? Well, we've got this. We've got, flares, and more flares. I showed this one to you guys yesterday. This is a long duration one. Now, I want you guys to notice something here. This is long duration. So when that happens, typically you'll see a little bit more of a proton flux when it more protons, higher dense protons arrive here at our planet. But with that said, there was no radiation storm, but I think what has happened here, I think our proton level probably was a little bit risen already, or was already just juiced up, and then we started getting these other flares right here. That's what these little spikes are. And then you see what happened with our proton flux? That's radiation. We almost got into a level 1 radiation storm. We didn't, but it was close. It was close. So, that was it's pretty up there, right? So, and again, it wouldn't have been a big deal. It's just we almost did. We don't get radiation storms all that often, but when we get a bigger, longer lasting flares, typically that's what you'll see. That you'll see this raise up, and this is what we look at for radiation storms. But just so you guys get to see what was on the thumbnail here, I'm going to go ahead and just take you guys over to there and show you this first. Okay, let's do it this way. All right. Obviously here is the, if you're looking at the 304 here, that's an angstrom of light. It's a filter that's on the camera itself. It filters out and looks at just one specific angstrom of light, which allows us to see different gases. Okay? And that's what you're looking at here. It's a very photogenic one. But what I want you to notice its location. Okay? It was rotating off. And the sun itself actually blocked some of the X-ray. So I do think, and this is just my opinion, I do think that this was probably larger than what it came in at. Okay? Because we didn't receive all the X-ray from it. Because the sun actually blocked it. But so if you guys watch that there, you can see how fast that's moving. And I'll show it to you in another one here in just a second. But I want to show you these other ones too. as we're moving through here because there's multiple flares happening. We actually just had one right here in the middle, right earth facing. It hasn't registered on much of anything yet. I'm not sure if there's a CME with that one yet or not. Don't know. I have to wait. But this is a good way for me to show you. You guys see these dark little filaments? That's what these are. Those are filaments, these dark shadows. And that's kind of what you're seeing there. That's a filament. Well, not necessarily a filament. That's an eruption, but it's still essentially the same thing as plasma. So it's ejecting off. And this one really did move fast. Okay? No questions asked there, guys. This thing was booking. And again, this one's not coming at us. But you see these right here? These things actually, if these things lift off, I mean, they have a good chance of coming our way. And I'm not sure how unstable or stable they are. And, and I've said this 1,000 times, the sun can do what it wants, when it wants, how it wants. It's just a fact. So, but we just got to keep an eye on it. There's no sense of being fearful of absolutely anything, guys. You guys know I say that all the time. We don't fear monger here, and there's no sense of being afraid. Don't fear stuff you can't control. I don't. I used to, but you got to get yourself in a mindset where you don't. But you guys see that, right? I mean, I'm putting my cursor down here, and I want you guys to really look at that one because it's substantial. Now, did you guys see that? You guys see these arcing this plasma here? That's matter of fact, I'm going to zoom in a little bit more, give you guys a better look at that. That's plasma. That's a plasma rain or solar rain, whatever you want to call it. But you can see that it's following a magnetic connection line, and that's exactly how the plasma gets here. It's our connection to the sun via an interplanetary and magnetic field line. It travels on that line. So, and this is a really good way to show you guys. Okay? Because this is what it does. So let me back that up a little bit. You can kind of see it. And it's arcing on both of them here. I just thought that was pretty cool. But that essentially is plasma rain. Sometimes you'll see, like kind of here in the middle, you'll see it falling like this too. Like right in the middle. But that was just pretty neat, I thought. But anyway, we'll take you back here and show you this one more time, and then we'll go to the next imaging here. Because this one here really doesn't give you justice to how fast this thing is actually moving. But you can definitely see. I mean, that's, yeah. I'm not saying that was like an X-class flare or anything like that, but I do think it would have been more than just a C-class. That's all I'm saying. Okay, so let me, I'm going to take you to the 211 angstrom over here. I think I got this one right here to the side. Yeah, right here. Okay, this is the same imaging. It's just a different filter, the 211, looking at a different gas. That's all you're doing here. Okay, so let me take you back to this. And what we're going to do is I want you guys to really notice how fast this moves when this blows off right here. So let me go forward here with it. See that? Probably barely seen it, didn't you? So let me back it up here a little bit. And guys, I'm going frame by frame here. And I think this one gives us one every 10 minutes, I think. Let me look. Yeah. This 211 will give us an image every 10 minutes. It's not a movie. These are like time lapses, guys. Okay? If you didn't know that. They just line them up basically in like a slideshow. And so as you're moving here, watch. Bam, that's 10 minutes. It goes from that to that, and then boom, it's gone. So, like, I mean, we've all watched these things come off the sun before. That one right there definitely was moving fast, okay? I can't tell you how fast or how far it's traveling or anything like that, but this sucker is moving at a good clip, okay? And this is why I titled the video the way I did. Because that was a bullet of plasma that, yeah, it missed us. Thank God. I mean, I don't want to say thank God. Because, I mean, honestly, if that one would have hit us, I don't know how much it would have been. We will never know that. because sometimes you see bigger eruptions, and sometimes our magnetic field can handle it, and sometimes we don't even know it, and it's so we just got to take everything into consideration. But the chances of that actually giving us a little bit of issue, when it's moving fast like that, definitely is risen. Okay. Not to mention that is quite a bit of plasma. I know it doesn't look like a lot when you're looking at the overall imaging, but you got to understand how big the sun is. Okay. Yeah. We talked about that before. So as we move forward here, you can definitely see. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to push play. How about that? I'm going to back this up. I'm going to push play. And I want you guys to watch this thing just in its normal format here. If I can get it back over there in time. So it's running at its regular speed. See that? It's moving fast. I can't say that enough, but it is. It's just moving fast. That's all I can say. Not much more to say on that part of it, but what we're going to do now is I'm going to take you over here and let you guys see the other flares on the 94 angstrom. Here's that flare again, okay? And this will allow me to show you that a lot of this X-ray is actually behind the limb of the sun. So I've not watched anybody else's videos on this yet, so there might be some other opinions out there, which they're just as valid as what I'm telling you, okay? Please look at everybody's stuff. It doesn't do you any good unless you do, because I can be wrong and other people can be wrong. So that's just kind of what I say. But watch right here. You're going to see it. And it's substantial. Okay? And here we go. See that? See how, even the flare itself did seem to, blow off there really, really quick. Really, really quick. I'll check the chat here in just a few minutes, guys. I literally don't have, I'm not even looking at it because I want to get through this. And if I look at the chat, I will definitely be distracted. So, but you can see how a lot of that, see where it's fired off there, is still behind the limb of the sun just because of its location. All right. So you see that? That's, yeah, I really think that would have been, it definitely would have been an M class in my opinion. I'm not sure if it would have got the X class. I don't think so, but possibly. I don't know. But what I want you to see is these other active areas we've got going on here. It's almost like you guys are, I'm sure you have, as a child, went out into the country, like when it was in the middle of summer, and you look out over the field and all you see is a bunch of fireflies, lightning bugs just flickering everywhere. That's kind of what this looks like to me. But, that's just my opinion. So, but as you watch this 94 angstrom is really good to show you, like, specifically where the flares are at. So I'll try to run through this slow. Do you see that small one right there? Where my cursor is? Right there. See that? Back it up right there. That's a small one. Now here's the one I showed you guys yesterday. Right there. Okay? Look at that. That was very photogenic. It really was. So, yeah. And that was an M class. Just a lot of X-ray right there. Right? You could tell it flooded the camera with light. You see this fuzzy stuff? That's the camera reacting, trying to dim it down so it can actually get a capture. Okay? So, boom. And that happened. So, but let me show you right here on the end, because there is another flare that just happened right in front of us. It happened right as I was getting ready to go live here. You see that right there? Watch, right here. Where my cursor's at. See that? That just happened as I was getting ready to go live. You see how many images I have after that? That's why. Because it just happened. That is right in front of us. Now, I can't tell, looking at this, if there was a CME with it. But there's also another flare over here. Back it up a little bit for you so you can see that one. And, this goes to my point I was bringing to you guys yesterday, that it's going to get harder and harder to see the little ones. Okay? And the reason why is because there's so many of them. Now, looking at the SDO here, which is out in front of the planet looking at the sun, and it's not as far out as SOHO is, right? I can't remember exactly how many miles this thing is up there, but it's in our orbit and it's there, right? But SOHO is actually orbiting the sun. SDO is orbiting us, but it's always looking at the sun. So just keep that in mind. Now, again, just so many flares here, and it's going to get more and more difficult to catch the small ones, and the small ones do matter. I don't care what anybody else says. The small ones matter because if you get a small one and then you get a big one right behind it, if you don't see the small one, then you're wondering why did the big one behind it, why was it more powerful than what we thought, or why wasn't it as powerful? Things like that can happen. But the 131 here, we'll take a look at that flare there too on this one here. See how photogenic that thing is? I almost used this one as my thumbnail, but you know. And I want to preface this too. Just because it's photogenic does not mean that it's powerful. It just means it took a really good picture. That's simple as that. Honestly. So it's really that way, right? Man, I can't say that enough. Because you'll fool yourself. Because there's one time like this one up here. And I want to talk about that for a minute anyway. This one right here, this flare here, it produced a CME. And remember me telling you that it possibly could be hitting us? Well, they were predicting it to sideswipe us, and now they've changed their mind. Okay, how do I know that? Well, you can go look at Noah's report. But over here at spaceweather.com, these guys do a really, really good job. Oh, I see. So if you look at this, it's telling you right there. And I do very much trust Dr. Phillips over here. He does a really good job with this, and he updates it all the time. I show you guys this almost every video. I don't like showing you the whole thing because I want you guys to go over there and give them some traffic because they do the work, right? And I learn a lot just from coming over here. But as you can see, Noah's now saying that it's going to be a near miss. So is what it is, and that's why we don't come out here and just start spouting off something that we're not 100% sure of. And I see that in so many other channels. It's ridiculous. It really does. It really does. It bothers me. And I don't let it bother me as much as it used to because I simply can't do nothing about it. I can't control anything like that. You know what I mean? And I wouldn't want to. That's censorship. That's taking somebody else's freedom of speech and all that stuff away from them. So even though I might not agree with them, I still want them to have their voice. And I know some people don't agree with that. I'm sorry. That's just how I view things. Just because I don't like what you're saying doesn't mean that you don't have the right to say it. Okay? So just I'll just put it to you that way. And is what it is. So we got you over here. Now, I want to show you guys something else too. This might take me a second to get this up and running for you guys. Let's see here. Give me 1 sec. Just hang in here tight for me here. And let me, I think I can just do it this way. Let me check. Okay. I think this will work. I'm going to try. If this is all jacked up, I apologize. I don't think it worked. Okay, I think it worked. So, let's see. Did it work? No, it didn't. Sorry. Hold on a minute. Bring you guys back over to that for a second. Give me one. I'm sorry, guys. I don't mean to do this to you. Let's, do want to show this to you, so give me just 1 second and I'll fix it. I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm just going to do like let's do a display capture, I guess. Let's do it that way, I guess. Okay, that'll work. All right. Okay, so guys, you remember me telling you guys, this is perspective. We're talking about these things blowing off of the sun, right? So what are we looking at here? Well, this is the sun, this is the earth. This is stereo A. Now, stereo A is actually, because I made this a while back, but I want you guys to see something. This is a three-dimensional model. This is I made this little crude model myself, just so I can explain this point a while back. Looking at this, if you pretend that that is a CME, right? What's that look like? Looks like it's coming right at Earth, right? Well, this is from stereo A's perspective, right? Looks like it's coming right at Earth. Well, let's go look from Earth's perspective. Where's it going? Nowhere near Earth. You guys see that? And then this is why I try to beat this to death, because people need to understand this. That when we're looking from Earth's perspective, it might not be looking like it's coming at us. But if we go to stereo A, it looks like it's going to hit us. But in reality, it's not. And that's why we have to look at two separate ones here. So, yeah, I just wanted to bring that to you. Now, let me... Okay, so are we back on that now? Let's see here. Okay. Hold on 1 second. Hang on it. Okay, yeah, we're back. Okay, I apologize for that, but let me get you guys back over here. Okay, so are you guys there? I'm going to pull the chat out for a second. Hey, Ripper, what's up, bud? Are we all good in there? Does somebody give me a 5 for 5 so I can put the chat back away? Hey, Judith. I think we're good, right? I mean, I'm just going to keep moving. If we're not, somebody scream at me. Hey, Trish. So, yeah. Who else is there? Hey, what's up? Loris, Anna, Raven, Ripper. Who else is there? Blue, what's up? Hey, I think I seen Ron in there too. Good to see you. Guys, you guys don't know anything about earthquakes, go learn something from Ron, Emergency Management Associates. He does a great job over there, guys. Okay? He really does. So just know that. Please go over there and give him some love and show him. And Ripper, too. Ripper, I mean, I'm telling you guys know Rip is the Rip. That's all I'm telling you. You guys want to know anything about some preparedness stuff, getting prepped up and learning how to, even live better during a prepping scenario? He's teaching people how to cook and everything with those prepping ingredients, and he's doing an awesome job, and he'll take you out to the range, show you how to, he's got a second channel called Rip Curl Readiness at the range, and I'm telling you guys, you're doing yourself a disservice if you don't go over and check it out. Hey guys, you guys can put your links in there if you want to. I would rather you guys do that. So, but anyway, so I wanted to give you guys that part of show you guys that so you understand perspective. So even though it looks like it's going to hit us, it might not be. So here is those eruptions here from Lasco, and this is on Soho Observatory, about 1 million miles closer to the sun than where we're at. So let me pause that and back that up. Okay, so those are those two big ones. All right, and again, I can't tell you 100% if any of these are going to hit us. I don't think that big one I showed you guys at the beginning is going to. I'm not so sure about this other one. So we'll look at stereo A, and you can tell, like I said, perspective. Remember, Earth's over here. So this could be going off to our right, okay? Even though it looks like it might be coming right at us. But that is a pretty decent eruption there. The bigger one that I showed you at first, I really don't think that's coming at us. If somehow it gets swept up in the solar wind, and sometimes it can do that. It'll get pulled back around the front, the plasma will, just because of our motion, and magnetics will pull it through. And sometimes it will give us a side-swiping blow, and sometimes we'll catch what they call the wake of the solar storm. It's nothing more than the high-dense plasma pushing through space, and it has a buildup of denser particles, and just like a boat going through the water, it can send wake out to us and make our magnetic field vibrate. And that's, give us some sort of magnetic disruption, which could, geomagnetic storm type of stuff, right? That's why there's a no wake zone when you go to the beach. So you don't, you ain't out there trying to swim while a boat's zipping by and a big wave comes and smacks you in the head. You weren't expecting it. It's kind of what I'm talking about. Man, guys, I don't feel good today. I haven't for a while. But anyway, so let me back this up again a little bit. And again, guys, I mentioned to you guys Tamitha Skov last night too. Please go check out her video on the winking of the sun. That's what she called it. It was a very good analogy, talking about that stealth CME and that coronal hole. I'm not going to revisit that right here tonight, but go check that out. That really did. I didn't even know all that stuff. And that's what I'm saying. I learn every time. I pay attention, guys, and that's really all it takes. You guys are smart enough. You guys can understand it. I promise. I would have never thought I could understand any of this. I get some of this wrong sometimes, but when I do, I come out and tell you. But don't be afraid to be wrong. That's another thing I like to tell people. You can't be afraid of that. Because if somebody corrects you, just come back out and say, hey, somebody corrected me and they were correct because I looked at it. You know what I mean? Silence is worse than not saying anything at all most of the time. So that's just what I would say on that end. But as far as these eruptions go, that's what you got, guys. I don't think we got anything else going on right now. We'll have to keep an eye on the sun. It's just going to keep coming, and I promise you that. Nothing that is going to slow down. This is our magnetosphere. You can see the solar wind coming in waves here. Nothing real too heavy right now. This is density. The white color is light. That would be a lighter density. And the darker blues is denser. Now, that's your bow shock. Do you see that? I want to show you guys that. This is a really good way to show you guys. You see how that is, just looks like a solid color? Now, watch the different dense particles come through here. And what it's going to do is it's going to show you exactly where the bow shock is at. So watch this. See that? See it bending around? Earth's right here. So what's causing that? Well, that's our bow shock. That's the beginning of our magnetic field. That's where solar wind or space weather hits our magnetic field. That's why it drives me nuts when I come on here and people are saying, our bow shock's down, our bow shock's down. No, it's not. It's not. Your bow shock's right there. You just can't see it because nothing's changed. All this is telling you is that from on this side of the bow shock to this side, the density is the same. That's all that's saying. So you see how it hits? And when it hits, then you see the lower dense particles behind it just kind of show it up here on this model. You got to understand what the model's trying to show you to actually, look at that and get a good idea. Now, this is a magnetic pressure, and there's nothing going on here either. We're bouncing a little bit, but that's all normal stuff. So, we see that all the time. Geoelectric model. This is space weather's effect on our electrical grid. Listen, this thing will react almost every time our magnetosphere reacts. But I want to point something out, and I started doing this, and Ron will probably appreciate this. You see this down here, USGS? You don't see that on all the other models, do you? And the reason why is this is trying to help people understand that space weather has an effect on earthquakes. They don't talk about it a whole lot. everybody knows that it does. It's just they can't pinpoint exactly what it is. And they're trying to get better at that. And, I'm not the earthquake guy. That's why I'm telling you about Ron. Not to mention he's a great guy and does really good work over there. It just, I just simply don't understand earthquakes as much as a lot of other people do. And that's why I don't talk about it a whole lot, because I don't want to lead people the wrong way. So you got the USGS here, and that's why that's there. This model was really made to try to help people understand space weather's effect on our electrical grid, but it also talks about induction and how the electric, gets down to the ground currents and all that kind of stuff, and it affects earthquakes. So nobody really denies that it does. They just can't, they haven't figured out exactly what component and how much it affects it, and there's a lot of stuff, and they're studying it now. That right there shows you that they are. So anyway, I thought I'd point that out. Not a whole lot of people really will talk about that with you. But again, guys, we had this geomagnetic storm, nothing else going on there. They're not forecasting anything right now, but I could see that changing within the next day or two. It's a fluid thing here. So let me play this one for you. This is the end of the spiral. This shows you 2 days behind us, historic data, and then it tries to forecast out 5 days in advance. Don't trust it all the way out 5 days. Things change, okay? Now check this out. See, this is why I haven't looked at this yet. So me and you and everybody here is looking at this the first time with me. You see this? That's that big eruption. Watch. Okay? You see that? You can tell by the date. You see this right here? This is the 10th. So if we run it back to where we're at right now, that's when the stuff was leaving the sun. Okay? So, yeah. So right now, this happened back at what time? What time was that? Okay, so this right here is the M-class flare from yesterday. This one right here. Hope you guys can see that. So if I move this forward, you see what it's doing? It spreads out. Okay? And then look at that. See, what the heck did I do there? Okay. I bet you this right here was that fast one. See how much faster it's moving than the rest of it? That thing's moving fast. You see how dense it is? See the white colors over here? That's high dense material. This is velocity over here, but you'll see the same up here. See the black? You see it up there? So let me run that through. You see what's happening here? I mean, that's actually a very interesting end little spiral signatures. Looks like, that's from the M-class flare. That's from the other flare on the other side. And it looks like we're getting split right down the middle. Now, I don't know if it's possible to have two different wakes come in at the same time and actually kind of squeeze us on both sides. I would say that it's possible. Does that happen very often? Probably not. I don't know. But you can see, because this is the Earth. This is interesting. Like I said, I haven't looked at this yet. So, looking at this is Noah's model of it. And what you're seeing is they're saying that this is going to miss us. So, I had no doubt that this one over here was going to. This is the one I was questioning whether or not it would. And you can see that it was close. Okay? You can definitely see how it got close. But, and here's the other thing. If they've analyzed it and they're off a little bit, it could, in a couple of days, get changed back. You know what I mean? It could come back this direction as far as they may change their mind again. And that's good. That's good that they do that. People think it's a bad thing, and it's not. If they thought something was doing something and it turns out that it's not, wouldn't you want them to tell you? I don't understand the logic the other way. You know what I mean? They're like, well, why did they just tell us at first? Well, because it was 5 days out and the sun's 93 million miles away from us. That's why. That's what I'll say to that. But, and again, I get it. I understand. We got to be skeptical, but we got to be real too. So, Anyway, so that's what you're seeing here. And I do see, like, right here, that's almost like maybe a faint. Oh, man. It'd be so small it would be insignificant, okay, just so you know. That might have been like a small little stealth solar storm right there. It might have been what hit us. It might have been. Let me look. I bet it was. I bet you that's what caused that that stealth solar storm I showed you guys yesterday. I bet you that's what that is. Because it's about the same time. So, but that's an interesting signature. See how they're boom, boom. Now we see this often too, guys. We'll see an eruption on one side of the sun, and then almost every time you'll get a smaller eruption on the opposite side. So when we see stuff blowing off of the backside, I do pay more attention after that to see if anything's going to fire our direction. It's not directly 180, and it doesn't happen every time, but it does happen often. When you get a big eruption, usually on the other side, you'll see another one pop off. I've seen it a lot. And I'm not sure if there's any kind of like, science behind that or any kind of studies. I would think that there would be. I've just not seen them. So, space weather is getting studied a lot more now. And, and that's kind of what, Timothy Scove's over there doing her channel, and that's what she's trying to do. She's been on the Weather Channel and everything talking about this stuff. It's almost like free college. And that's why, you can go there and check her out because, that definitely is a place to go to really learn. What's good about it is you can pause it. If you don't understand something, you just keep going over and over and over, and guess what? You're not getting graded. So, yeah, that's kind of what I would say to that. But, okay, guys, I think we'll probably go ahead and cut this now. 37 minutes. I've been trying to keep them a little bit more short on my live streams even because, I want to respect people's time. And again, guys, I'm not going to promise I'm going to be back out here tomorrow. If something else happens, I will, most definitely. Again, I've had a lot of stuff going on in my personal life and, with myself and all that. And I'm not going to go into detail or anything, but it has nothing to do with the internet at all. Anything going on the internet, nothing to do with that at all. I'm just, been dealing with some stuff for a while, and again, I'm not going to go into it because it simply doesn't need to be, I've not talked about this with anybody at all, period. So, but I'm staying strong. I'm going to try my best to keep moving here, guys, and, I'll be back as often as I can, and I hope to be here every day and just give you an update of something if I can. If not, then, it is what it is, guys. So I will see you guys the next time something happens or next time I give you guys an update. And you know what, guys? Love each other, okay? Just love each other. Like I said yesterday, you can't get time back. You can't buy more of it. Spend your time with the people you love, okay? You just don't get it back. And you can't get it back. And then what that does is it'll lead to some regret. And it'll just lead to a bad place. And you don't want to get there, guys. And I'm not saying that I'm there. What I'm saying is don't let yourself get there, okay? Because it's not healthy for anybody involved. You guys know I had the opiate addiction too, and I'm on Suboxone and stuff. Nothing's happened. If you guys are thinking that I've did something like that, no. No. I would not be here right now if that's the case. My wife would have probably smacked the crap out of me. But anyway, I don't want people thinking that because everybody knows I share my story. So, that's just what it is. But just want to let everybody know that, I'm thinking about everybody and I love everybody and I want you guys to love each other. And that's most important to me. So I really do hope that you guys do grab a hold of that and just understand that you can't get time back. I don't want to sit here and keep rambling like this, but so anything else happens, I'll be here. God bless.